Hello folks, we're November 26th. It's late in the fall, down by Windsor. Mr. Rod Laramie. Hey Rod, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Well, just tell us about this Drago. This Drago GT's first one in Canada from Kearney planters. We're just out in Snake Road Drago. Double chop system. Rows 1 and 2 we got set up for single chop. Just remove the blades on double to simulate single. But we'll just let Rod speak about his Drago experience and what all you know about it, Rod.
Well, we've been running Drago head for 3 years. Single chop head. When Barry started talking about this new head and how good it was, my thoughts were, I don't think they can make it much better. First thing I noticed was it's extremely quieter. The chains, it seems to gather the corn a little better, and when you start looking at all the engineering features and how it's put together, it is definitely a better head. They've made a lot of improvements. But the big first thing you notice when you turn the switch on is how quiet and smooth it is.
When did you first find out about Drago?
Well, I was in Louisville, Kentucky probably 8 or 9 years ago and looking at corn heads and noticed the Drago head. And from our experience picking sweet corn and the hours we spent with corn heads, noticed some things about the long, skinny roller. And then brought the video home and watched the engineering behind Drago, and that really impressed me that they were as good or better than any corn head that was made in North America.
Yeah.
And then as we tried them out in the field and you start understanding the speed the rollers turn at, the speed the gathering chains turn at, less trash in the combine, way less shelling on the ground. When you start calculating the savings in corn, a couple bushel of corn at when corn's $6 a bushel and 1,000 acres of corn to harvest, suddenly the expense of the head doesn't scare you quite as bad.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
Well, I've been doing a lot of random tests in the trash here, and it's hard to find any corn on the ground. And this corn's pretty dry. It's Pioneer variety, and it's 17 to 20% moisture, and normally butt shelling would be an issue, wouldn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, we're out just one row to the left. We're just finishing off the field here, this side.
Just following my pick corn stalks. When I planted the corner here, I didn't meet the rows.
But you do notice when you get down in paw, if you really have to have annihilated trash, it's hard to see from up here, you'd agree, from single chop to double chop, the way this head's set up, just to show the difference, correct?
Definitely, there's definitely a difference. Just a minute, I'll show you how you really notice it. Looking at what we drove over, you're seeing a lot of husk.
Yeah.
A lot of the trash is husk. If you stop the combine and back up here, the 2 rows on the left are single chop.
Yeah.
Rows on the right are double chop. You can see just looking at the trash.
Right.
There's less trash on the 6 rows to the left.
Okay.
And maybe not less trash, but smaller size trash. Would be a better way of describing it. So it'd be interesting to see in the spring how much more that's deteriorated than the single chop part.
Right. You're gonna till this farm yet this fall, is that correct?
If Mother Nature gives us time, we will.
Yeah.
We've experienced problems with corn stalks in the spring, no tilling them. So we're kind of changing the program and trying to work as many as we can.
Okay.
And I think this is heavy clay ground that had 16, 17 inches of water in the spring, and it's pretty compacted.
Right.
So I don't think it's hurting it to do some tillage.
Yeah. If you had some ground, say you did want to no-till and you had a single chop, and the ability to turn it on and off would be a feature for some people, obviously, wouldn't it?
Yeah, when we were running our single chop last year and it was late in the year, we took the cutters off one day.
Right.
Because that was a big debate. Chopping corn stalks makes the ground wetter in the spring. And those fields were the hardest I'm not going to say that it dried out any quicker or stayed wetter longer because everything was saturated.
Good.
But I like the looks of it a lot better chopped. In the springtime, I know for a fact there's more exposed dirt because your corn stalks have rotted more.
Yeah. You had a comment, I believe, this head it's quiet and you feel it drives quite freely, correct?
Well, our old Drago head, not an old Drago head, it's 3 years old. But the last day I ran it, I harvested about 80 acres of corn on 800 acres of fuel. Yesterday I harvested about 90 or maybe a shade more, and I'm guessing at acres, but I'm pretty close, on 900 liters of fuel.
Yeah, so the ratio is about the same.
Yeah. And you don't notice, I never noticed any more power to run the single chop Drago we got at home or to run this double cut.
Yeah, well that's good to know. All right, folks, well, I'm just riding around, so I'm going to get back to a nice visit, and it's a beautiful day. Thanks for listening. Bye.